Let's continue my story. It sounds like I was crossing, but I loved to put that part in the middle right there about my grandfather's legacy and motivation, another part of motivation behind my life in a dream, just because it was the right moment for me to remember my grandfather. And that's where the thought of remembering my grandfather popped up. And the full picture revealed as I was writing my story. So my life with my grandfather, we kept surviving. And age 11, my mother returned again. I was around 11 years old when my mother came back for the second time. By the time I saw my mother come back, I had moved on. When I saw her, it was too late. I had no feeling for her at all. The little girl who used to cry for her mom was no longer exist. I remember day like any other day as we came back from the forest after a long time in the forest and then come back to see if we can find some food to take with us and go back in the forest. My grandfather and I, it was time to go home after a long time looking after cow. And then we headed home. As we got home, we found my mom sitting in my grandfather's house. Soon as I saw my mother, a strange anger grew within me. I felt anger like if my grandfather could give me a permission, I would crush her and chase her away from our house. I didn't want to see her. I hated that she had abandoned me. She let me suffer. I had normalized living with pain. So what is she doing here? I did not need her in my life again. I felt no connection, no excitement, but anger and hatred. My mother's place was depressed and it was no longer available for her. I continued to come in with my grandfather, but soon as she saw me coming, she got up and said, "Oh, my kid, you are alive. Let me see. Oh, wow, you are okay. I came back for you. This time, I'm not leaving you behind again." But no matter what she could tell me, all I felt was anger. It was too late for her. I was damaged beyond repair. To me, she was someone I used to know a long time ago. It was a stranger thing for her to claim me from my grandfather's care. When she said, "Today you are coming with me," I thought she was crazy. She didn't even ask if I wanted to go with her. She didn't even ask my grandfather what happened after she dumped me in that hole. She just came and took me like I was something that belonged to her. She had no idea what my grandfather and I had been going through to survive. She just popped up from nowhere, committed a crime, taking me away from my grandfather. I was so angry, and that anger took me to a hiding place. I did not want to see her or hear her voice. But after some time, my grandfather found me and took me aside. He spent a special time with me. But that time, he convinced me to go with my mother by saying, "Go with your mother. If you are not feeling safe, then come back to me, and you know where you will find me." When my grandfather started giving me that kind of advice and statement at that moment, I remembered what he told me before. "Jeanette, today you are going with your mother." My grandfather had sent me away when my mom did not want me. Again, he was advising me to go with my mom. It felt like he was giving up on me again. And that was not what I expected to come from my grandfather. I felt like betrayed me. He did not want to stand with me and tell my mom that what she did was wrong. For the second time again, I desired my grandfather to stand with me and tell my mom that you did wrong. He did not even want to defend me after what my mom did before. I felt betrayed by my grandfather. It was that moment of 11 years old. But as an adult, forgive me, as I speak right now, I really understand the situation of grandfather, what was happening. So I had no other choice, because this part I'm speaking like 11 years old, okay? So I had no other choice but to listen to my grandfather. I was not in control of myself anymore, not emotionally, not even physically. That voice came back again. Do as you are told. Do not ask or comment not even complaining. Go with your mothers. Then I said, yes, grandfather. And I left with my mother again. But this time, I was not the normal kid she used to know. Through her rejection and abandonment, the darkness took over her place 5 years ago when she dumped me and left me in that hole fighting for my life. And after 1 year of waiting for her to return back to me was over, I could not call her my mother anymore. I had no space left for her and I could not breathe. I started panicking, but what could I do as 11 years old? Nothing but accepting my fate. I remember crying because she took me away from my favorite person in the world, my grandfather. Just because she was my biological mother, she had the right to take me anytime she wanted. She came back to destroy me again. I hated my mother, but I was also afraid of her. I kept my grandfather's promises and all instruction my grandfather had given me. I didn't feel safe staying with my mother as I was leaving my grandfather's house for the second time. My mother promised my grandfather to keep me connected to him. My grandfather said, don't take her away from me. My grandfather and my mom promised each other that I would be closer to my grandfather. That made me a little bit hope that I would be spending more time with my grandfather as I want, even though she's here. But let's see what comes next in another episode. I'm not